on the dot. Okay, let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
and the Texas pledge.
On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Let us pray. Our Father, we just thank you for allowing us to come together today and do the work for Hutchinson County. We just ask your guidance as we make decisions that affect the citizens here in Hutchinson County. Please watch out for our nation, dear Lord. This is a troubled time, and we just ask your guidance and your protective hand over our nation. Be with all of our first responders, protect them, and send a little rain our way. We would appreciate that. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, anyone have any questions on the bills?
Yes, I actually do. And I think it may just be a mess up on the, I can find my post-it notes. Sorry. Here we go. I wrote them down. So on page 32 of the county welfare, I was trying to think, it has, it shows it's at 100% used already in the budget, but it actually still has 7,000.
On which line item?
On line item 5944.
Which is what?
That would be, let me pull it up.
Can you pull that up, Jerry? If we can pull up, yeah. Yeah, do the monthly reports and we'll look at, January expenditure. It's
Page 32.
640. 640. It's a 640, 10640, I think.
Yeah, so it's, it says the,
Can I make that any bigger? I can't read it.
so right there,
Okay, there.
where it says Texas Panhandle.
Mental health, 11,000.
Yeah, it shows we budgeted 11,000, and then when you go over, it shows we've used 100% of it already, but it still has.
Well, I think 100% is encumbered.
Yes.
So that's a
So if you take-
fee that we will pay out over the budget year, but we pay it out in what, quarterly amounts or something. So the reason why it says probably 100 is because it's already encumbered. We're going to spend that flat amount. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that's bad budgeting. If we're looking at 30, so you look at we're at 33% of the year, and it's showing that we've already spent 100% when we actually haven't.
Encumbered means that it's designated.
It's set
So
aside for that.
They pledged $11,000 and each month we paid a portion of that 11,000.
Until we get there.
100% of that budget line is already spoken for. We can't spend it anywhere else.
So you add those two together.
Oh, okay, so you're adding the,
Yes.
See, so his Panhandle Community Services.
okay,
Plus on there.
all right, I was just wanting to know if
So
that
the
was
actual
something.
year to date is what we've paid out. Actually, the 7,333 is encumbered.
Is what we're
Still
going
need to
Yes.
pay out.
Yes.
But
So
we
when it shows-
encumbered it so that we can't spend that line item on anything else.
So when it shows that department's over budget, it's never over budget.
Well, it's not over budget.
Not on that line item.
Yeah. Because it's at 67.
I mean, it probably will be over budget because the burial aid probably will go over budget. Did last year, it probably will this year.
Okay, so I get that. I'll take that one off. But on the, on page 27 and 28,
What?
That would be the sheriff's department is over budget, or not over budget. They're not over budget. They're flagged because they're at 45%. And
This is just through January, so it's not, doesn't have February's totals in it yet.
right.
That doesn't.
And so I just want to state, I'm only stating this because that's our job, is we're supposed to flag anything that's over the 33.3% if it's over abundance. But I think the reason why the sheriff's department and tax collection is over is simply, or not over, but above their percentage of the year is, I was going to ask, are those just, I know we have vehicle purchases and something else. Anyway,
So which line item?
so I just did the bottom line.
Yeah, this one's.
Which this is,
Oh, so you're
Not
just saying that
reflective
they've
because it's
used more than
January.
33.33% of their budget,
Yes.
even though only 33.33% of the year has happened.
Yes. That's all I'm
They're
saying.
at 45.
And then I was looking and I noticed on the line item, it's the vehicle purchases, I think is taking that above,
The vehicle repairs.
which are fine, they're the repairs. And I was thinking that they'll probably balance out after,
well, the squad cars, they've already spent one, or is that what's left? 116, 285.
Well, there was some
Oh, yeah.
damage to some cars. Was that put back in there for insurance, the 14,000?
Yes.
Yes.
That was on there, gonna be put back in the squad car field, so it'll be, we'll have quite a bit more once we get our car traded back.
so these are not negative observations, these are flag observations.
Okay.
So if at the end of the year, we're like, oh, we're over budget, I want it on record that, yes, I was
We were aware
I was
of where they
aware
were
of
at.
it in the process.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Motion?
A motion to pay the bills.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Did you vote?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Did y'all get the payroll from Kathy? No. Kathy, do you have anything?
The only thing I have is our changes.
Okay,
Okay, so our new employees, we have Seth Horn, and he went to work in the jail on February the 7th. And then, of course, Cindy Poland, Cindy Poland is working elections part-time. Okay, good for her.
yay.
Yeah, and she started February the 8th. Well, that was her hire date. When did she start, Jen?
She doesn't actually work till this Friday.
Yes, okay. All right, and then other election people we have is Wendell Sanders and Terry Willis. And then our separation is Brian Earls in the Sheriff's Department on February the 9th. And the rest of it is, the payroll is $862,774.89.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank
Do you
you.
have a motion to approve payroll?
So move.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Item 5, any additions or corrections to our previous Commissioners Court meeting?
No corrections of the January 24th and the special meeting, January 31st.
Okay, thank you. Item 6, any public comments? No. Item 7, consider, discuss, approve any and all items necessary or pertaining to the county jail. Have some numbers? Everything else going good? Thank you. Item 8, consider, discuss, approve any and all items necessary or pertaining to the county courthouse.
Last week, the elevator was broke. We got it fixed. The wheelchair lift on the south door is broke, and haven't found parts for it yet, but it was put in 1985, or it was manufactured in 1985. We may have to look into replacing it, because it's getting pretty old. It's been a long time.
The lift on the north door is
The
working
north door is fine.
and we have it open at
The
present.
north door is open while we're doing voting. North and south door will be unlocked.
Anything else?
I believe that's all.
Working on the lifts, okay.
Yeah.
All right, item 9, consider and or approve early voting ballot board for March 1st primary election.
So I sent this to you last week after I got it all signed. So not very many changes on that. I just asked for approval on that.
Make a motion, we approve the early voting ballot board for March 1st primary election. I'll second it.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor? And item 10, consider and or approve combining polling locations for May the 7th constitutional amendment election and May 24th primary runoff election.
So the May 7th was just something that has come up. They're going to have 2 amendments on the May 7th. So I'm asking to combine that so we don't have to have all the polling locations and also for the runoff.
Which ones, I mean, where would you have them?
So 11 will be by itself. 14 and 23 will combine. 21 will be by itself, which is Fritz. 31, 41, which is Danette, and Holt will combine. 33 and 42 will combine. This is what we normally do, how we combine them.
When we
do
have
that.
a special.
Okay, so that would save some money anyway.
Right, yeah. Try.
I'm all for it. I'll make a motion that we accept that.
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, item 11 is to consider and or approve the Lexus Nexus subscription agreement. This is a subscription agreement that we, I believe, renew yearly. The contract has been reviewed by Mark, and I believe the district attorney, the county attorney, the district judge, myself, we all have access to the Lexus Nexus where we can look up laws and legal stuff.
Make a motion to accept the Lexus or renew the Lexus Nexus agreement.
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, item 12 is to consider and or approve purchasing policies, and I'll let Leisha review that with you. And I believe I sent those out to y'all, right? Okay, great.
So I came up with purchasing policies for the county. I've sent them over to Craig Jones to have him review, and he said that everything looks good. He did ask that I add one thing that has been added since the copy that y'all got, and it is just on page 11, is to add a thing about service agreements. So I had a thing about lease purchase agreements, stating for long-term agreements, you have to have a government clause stating that if the court doesn't appropriate money, that you'll be able to get out of that agreement. And so he just suggested that we also add one for service agreements as well. So I added that. And then since I've sent it out, I've also thought about, I know that we do a lot of reimbursing. So like department heads or whatever, we go buy supplies, or they find something online and then they submit a reimbursement because they use their personal credit card or whatever. I would just like to put in the policy that we do not reimburse for sales tax, because we're supposed to be tax exempt. They can always, contact me and I can give them a sales tax exemption form that they can take with them or whatever, but I just feel like we should not be reimbursing sales tax.
Perfect. Good call.
So if it's okay, I would like to add that to the policies.
Make a motion, we approve the purchasing policies with the changes noted.
In the addition.
Second.
Motion second, any further discussion? All in favor?
It's really good.
That's good. Thank
Did a
you.
great job.
It's a really good.
Yeah.
Now, Leisha, will you send those out to all the departments?
Yes, ma'am. Once it's approved and I've got all the changes, I will send out
Good.
with direction. So,
All right, item 13 is to consider and or approve the service agreement with Republic Services. This is the trash pickup service out at the barn. Is that correct?
Yes, at the freight farm.
Okay. And Craig looked at this, correct?
Yes.
And was good with it, or did he have a?
The only issue that he found was
Oh,
that
that's right.
it didn't say anything about that governmental clause that we talked about. That's how this came about,
Mhm.
adding that in. So I contacted Republic and they couldn't change, I mean, that was just their standard contract. They couldn't change anything. So he had an addendum typed up and I sent it over and they did sign off on the addendum. So he and I both are good with it.
Okay.
It's
Is
a
that
30,
just-
it's a 36-month agreement.
Is that just scraps and trash?
It's just household trash, just a dumpster.
Oh, okay.
It's not scrap
Okay.
metal or anything. It's just
Oh.
trash.
Just regular dumpster.
Oh, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the service agreement for public services.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 14 is to consider and or approve purchasing a new grader for road.
Quotes that we received. Yeah.
As it is stuff.
Don't be so grand, but. I'll give you mine when I'm done.
Okay.
If I can borrow yours real quick. I'd gotten a few quotes from Sourcewell from two different dealers on some different price range of graders because they have really went through the roof. And these are the two that fell into our budget range. I wanted to present them to you. One of them is from Warren Caterpillar. It's for a machine basically like the machine we got that we've been buying, the last four we bought, except they put this machine out and kind of scaled back on the technology in it. They did away with the joystick control, some stuff like that, and just moved it to a regular steering wheel, regular hydraulic lever machine. So that's, I know that don't mean nothing to some of y'all, but it's kind of a scaled down.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay. It's kind of a scaled down version of what we've been buying. Sure you do. And then this other machine is a quote from Yellow House Machinery for a John Deere grader. Kind of on the same specification guideline. And we will be trading in or wanting to trade in that Volvo motor grader. They both give us pretty good prices on it. 45,000. Yeah, 45 on one, 53.5 on the other one. Yeah. Prices. On the Yellow House machine, it ended up with the ending balance after trade at 256,120. The Warren machine ended up 236,596.29. And I have went over and looked at one of these machines since it's a newer machine. They got one in for Beaver County. They don't have any on the lot, of course, but they did get one in for Beaver County. I went over there, went over it from front to back. It's basically the same thing we've been buying. It's just a little bit different operator station. So my recommendation would be to buy the machine from Warren Caterpillar.
Sounds a better deal to me. I think it's the best option.
What's the timeline on them getting it to you?
That's the 150 lever machine, right?
No, it's a 140.
This is the 140.
Yeah, the 150 is not a lever machine.
Oh, that's.
150
So
is
just
that.
140.
Yeah, they've changed the numbers up there. But yeah, that
Yeah,
lever machine like we usually buy has went up about $60,000 in a year.
The joysticks went to the 150s.
Yes, went to 150. Well, tell me what hadn't gone up. Boy, that's ridiculous. 15 or 20% on a couple of $100 ain't much, but on 300,000, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
So what's the timeline on this? Do you think?
This machine is already in production. It's not like they're going to have to send in the order, but When it gets to Amarillo, Texas, I don't know. They're saying maybe March, maybe late March, maybe June, so somewhere in that 3-month period. But we got lucky that it is already in production. It's just not available yet. So.
Good job. Well, thank you for doing some research and getting a couple bids brought to us. I appreciate that.
You're more than welcome.
And we budgeted for this year.
Yes, ma'am. I actually budgeted, I have 300,000 in that account. Of course, I had some more things in there that I probably won't get to purchase those other things. But I actually budgeted 235 for a grader, and this is 237. So
Okay.
it came out pretty close for this particular machine.
I'd make a motion to approve the purchase of the 140 lever machine from Warren Cat.
And I'll second it.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Thank you, Dwayne.
Thank y'all very much.
Cory.
You got something?
Ended up.
Yeah, we ended up with some extras over.
But thank you. I got some, Dwayne.
All right, item 15 is to consider and or approve proposed job descriptions for the Commissioners Court Department supervisors. And this may just end up being a discussion day with changes that I just put consider and or approve. So if we decide we want to approve some of them that we feel are ready, we can. So Dwight, I will let you, and I believe each of you got a copy of these, so you were able to look over them. Okay.
Yep.
So what I want to do is, first, I just want to go on a record because I know I have heard some scuttlebutt that people are kind of wigging out over this within our departments. And this is not a control thing or any of that. It's just to become a little more professional in how we do things. And all of this is what I was tasked with when I first became appointed commissioner, was to kind of help with the infrastructure and establishing some set goals and all of that. And so I've done that. I've done everything that you see has been taken to TAC, and I got some training from TAC on what we're supposed to look for and what all job descriptions are supposed to have in them. However, they did not have set job descriptions available in TAC. They just have the worksheet and the handbook on what's needed. So after I did some research and pulled from other counties that have similar aspects, I compiled what we already had, used that as a springboard and put it in here. And so these, again, my goal with these is for all of us to kind of look at and kind of say, okay, we like that, we don't like that, to throw it out. I'm not attached to any of it. I was just trying to help mediate some of this. And then before we do approve, with y'all's permission, I'd like to take it to the employees, the actual department heads, and say, okay, what do y'all think? And before we put anything in stone. So
I think that's a great idea to have them with some input.
So,
Okay.
so yeah, let's start with the airport first. 'Cause
Okay.
that was the first one I did.
Good. I've got a question about the education part.
Okay.
Bachelor of Business. I think that's going to be a little bit stiff for an airport manager of an airport this size. I think if you have, say, require at least 2 years of college, and I'm not talking about an associate's degree.
Yes.
I'm just talking about 2 years of college. And I think it's important to have, extensive, but, general aviation experience.
Okay.
But I
Now
think
this is
that'll
off of the current one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you knock that down to at least 2 years college, whether you've got a degree or not.
Okay.
I think that would help us when we go to get an airport manager.
Okay.
I don't know if I agree with dropping the education. You can always do it. You can
Well,
always.
it's not dropping it.
Well, that's what we have now. Currently,
Bachelor of Business. Bachelor of Business is a full degree.
that's currently what we have now on the.
That's our current requirement.
That's the current requirement.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We didn't change
I
that.
don't
Yeah.
agree with dropping,
Oh,
lowering.
you mean lowering it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not
You
dropping.
can always see, that requirement would drop, or that request would drop it from what we have now.
It would lower the standard.
Right. You can always lower it based on your applicants, based on what you get.
Well,
But
my thought is,
Why don't we just put Bachelor of Business Administration Management preferred?
okay,
So then we're not
Fine.
locked into
I
anything.
agree.
Okay.
Preferred is
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
I have no problem with that. It's not required.
I can tell you right now, you can have a degree in something else. It doesn't have to be a bachelor
All
of
of these
business.
that's got degrees on them should be preferred.
Yeah. Well, I would go along with that myself.
Okay.
Anything else on the airport?
I don't have it down here.
Next, right?
All right, then let's move on to the county information technology. This one was a little bit harder to get. There's 254 counties in Texas, and as you have heard a zillion times, there were 254 technology supervisor directories, job descriptions. Ours is a lot shorter than most of them. And also pay attention to the annual salaries. I got those from TAC too. Now, note that most of our supervisors make more than what is posted on the top. That's just if we had to go out and hire, that's what this is for. So,
Yeah.
was there anything that sticks out on y'all on this stuff? That's pretty easy. All right, on to the next one.
Read through it.
Now, this one was a little, it wasn't as hard, but the museum director. It was a little difficult because some of the counties, their museum, they don't have museums. The majority of them don't have museums. And if they do, the museum director or coordinator is employed by the historical society and works partnership with the county. So that was kind of an odd thing. It was kind of hard to find, but.
It doesn't require any education for that,
Is it
right?
not? I mean,
I mean,
I
high
just took
school
what we
diploma.
had. Yeah,
Yeah, it
just
was
says
high
high
school
school
diploma.
diploma or
Yeah.
GED.
Yeah.
And again, all of the requirements, I just took off what we already had. I didn't add anything to any of those because I wouldn't know what to add.
Well, I know we had somebody in there at one time that had a extensive background, but it still wasn't
It
good.
still wasn't fun.
No, that's not everything.
So did anybody see anything I need to change?
Chris, you're the one over that. What do you think?
I think it looks good. I think it's all right. I mean, these are always based on what you get in, you can always kind of change or amend if
Modify
you
it.
need to. I mean,
It's gonna be on per
You don't wanna-
person basis.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, like with our library director, we had to modify the job description for what we had to
Yeah.
get applicants. And
One of the things the reason why they're pushing for these job descriptions were to be a little more extensive. And I told this to judges, not that we would say, but even though they all say them, perform any other duties as assigned by the commissioner's court, they all have that in there. It's illegal to ask them to do something that is not in their
Scope.
scope of work.
All these departments are under the general supervision of the commissioner's court.
Right.
So if you
Yeah.
make new rules, that's,
Then we
That's
just
a new
make
rule.
adjust. That's right. So, all right. Well, that was easy. Moving on to the next one. This one is the maintenance superintendent. Now, I did change the name of that because I couldn't figure it out, but we can change it back. This is maintenance superintendent. This would be over Eddie. And we did make some adjustments when we first brought this up, but I didn't write those down. And initially I thought I wrote them down, but I couldn't find those. And so we'll basically go back. I know We want to say he mainly, right here where it says most of his duties is for the courthouse, is 80% of
Yeah,
his
but
staff.
you
What
have
do you got?
responsible for all buildings whatsoever.
Where is that?
Where is
It's the very top.
Will maintain the
Maintenance
safety of
supervisor.
all county facilities.
And
He
what
will
did we
help
change
with
that
the
to?
county
Okay.
facilities. He will not be responsible for all county facilities. There's no way he could do that.
Yeah, I meant to go back and find that video when we talked about this the first time, because
So I just add the word help. The
Yeah,
maintenance
help with
superintendent
other
will
county-
help maintain. Okay.
Help
entities
maintain,
If needed.
and then, but he can't be responsible for all safety and all aspects of maintenance of those buildings.
Okay.
That's why everybody takes care of the other buildings along, that helps with it, like I help here.
Yeah, I'm responsible for the safety at the annex.
Okay.
And
Is there anything,
well,
what do you got on 6?
that's like making, installing new furniture. Well, we're probably not gonna be making any furniture. You can help install it, but we're not making anything.
Well, I think
He
that
wasn't
those.
making all the- I know,
And there was a
that's
changing
kind of
table
maintenance
that was
things.
made.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to get the misconception that he's gonna be building furniture for everybody.
So let me clarify that, making and installing. So in general terms, when you order a desk and it comes in a box, that's considered making.
That's putting together.
That's putting it together. That's assembly. You're in the assembly line.
Yeah, we're really getting picky here now.
Yeah, I mean, we can just take out and just put the word
Making is
installing.
putting it on the
Or
jigsaw.
assembling.
I think it's getting a little too detailed with the maintenance, but
Yeah.
Okay,
and like the repairing, he's not responsible to repair everything because we have to call plumbers. We have to call various things.
where's
He's,
that one at?
well, it's down here in 13 where it says repairing building issues. Well, yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean he can
To
repair them all.
the extent that he can.
That extent that he can, yes,
Then we're
Within
going to
his
call it
abilities.
professionals.
within his abilities.
Yeah.
Because we have to hire people for one thing.
yeah, those don't say all repairs.
Yeah.
So 13, I'll keep the same. What are you suggesting on 13?
13.
It just says basic problems with the building.
Yeah, he's not gonna do major repairs.
So I think it's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there anything else?
I don't think there's anything else on his.
So, right, we have maintenance superintendent,
Yeah.
which I'm fine with that. But what about our custodian?
She worked for Ben.
She should work for the maintenance superintendent, I would think.
Well, not really.
No,
Well,
They're
no, she worked for you.
lateral.
that's okay, but
That's just
Well, that's how it
the
is.
way it's set up. And all the janitorial service that y'all contract works for you and you. And then when I go clean the toilets at the library, which I haven't, but I work for me.
Well,
But I-
it's just,
library.
it's just like the annex. I've had to go over there and get them some supplies. They furnish some. I have to get the others.
Yeah,
And then I have to make sure they got what they need through the people that we're dealing with, Hovey.
yeah,
So, and then I have to give them instructions like, for the safety stuff on wet floors and stuff. That took a while because I don't speak Spanish. But we got it done. So just things like that.
yeah. Right, so nothing on that one? The county library. And this one, I basically,
Yeah, we had already kind of made it,
yeah,
some changes last time. It looked all right.
okay.
We got a good one.
We do.
No changes on that one for anybody? And this is, I thought it was gonna be forever. This is actually pretty easy. And then road and bridge superintendent.
I know it's number 8,
Number 8.
overseas random drug and alcohol testing for fetal drugs.
Oh, yeah, what'd y'all say
Actually,
last time?
Gary,
I do that.
Gary
Okay.
actually does that.
Yeah.
So what do I
Can
do?
we
Just take
that
it out?
Completely?
Yeah, you take it out because that's Gary's responsibility. Now,
Yeah.
he does tell Dwayne, Dwayne takes somebody down.
Wayne will take them down, but that's it.
Overseeing the program is actually Gary's problem.
Okay.
So just take 8 out completely.
Absolutely. I remember y'all said something about that, but I couldn't remember what was said. Was there anything else on there?
And on his, of course, you got down here significant applicable work experience may substitute for educational requirement.
Where is that?
But
Oh, okay.
requiring a minimum of associate's degree, the most experienced dirt hands probably don't have a college degree, but
So
a
do I
lot of
put
them don't. So
preferred, or is that preferred?
it's a preferred would be the more,
Where would I stick that word?
it doesn't require that, even though it could be substitute.
Position prefers a minimal. And take the word require out and just put preferred.
Prefers.
Just put minimal, preferred.
Okay, position.
However,
I would just put minimum of associate's degree.
Take the
Preferably
position out and just put a
Leave
minimal.
that down at the bottom where, you know, if you have 30 years experience, that's pretty good college.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Life.
yeah, so
Field experience is better.
I got 40 years in it. I never went to college, I'll tell you that,
Yeah.
for that.
What did you say, put preferred at the end of that
I
long
would-
sentence?
I would put it after associate degree preferred and leave out the preferably bachelor's.
Okay, take out preferably bachelor's,
Yeah.
take that word out.
Yeah, and then just put preferred,
Minimum
associate
of
degree
associate
preferred.
degree preferred.
Okay, preferred. Thank you. Easy. Is there anything else we got? That was it?
And of course, like Dwayne's position, we are superintendent system, so you have to comply with the superintendent system as well,
Right.
which this pretty much does.
Yeah, that's where I got this one from. Superintendent job description. Well, that
So-
was easy.
So now at this point, you're going to take them to the department heads and let them review them.
With
for-
y'all's permission, I would like to, first of all, again, when you introduce job descriptions, there is somewhat of a nervousness from the department heads. They think, what are they doing? What are they trying to do?
And why are they changing?
Yeah, why are they changing it? And I don't want that to come across. This is just raising the bar, I guess you'd say, for as we move forward, not about. So I would like to visit with them with the court's permission, one-on-one, and let them, we go through it together as a team, if you will.
Awful lot of changes really quick.
Yeah. So I don't want to, there was, my brain thought, well, how about we just bring everybody in together? But I think if I just go and visit with Dwayne, have a relationship with almost all of them enough to,
Mhm.
it wouldn't be an aggressive kind of thing.
Okay,
And get their feedback and make some notes on what they would like to change and, or add to, or whatever, and then bring it back to the court for the final ta-da.
I don't think
That
there was
sounds
ever
good.
really a big problem with the jobs they do. Who
No,
they answer
no.
to, who
I
they
think this
answer
was just
to.
some clarification and,
Yeah, well, this is actually, for us, this is new, but this is actually standard with TAC. They were thinking, oh, y'all didn't already have this?
we did.
And then we're like, no,
and it's hard, it's not gonna make any changes.
no, there aren't
Doing
any
that yet.
changes, yeah.
We're just for future, I mean, that's,
Yeah, we just kind of established the salary, base salary. Of course, that can change based on the economy. We established who they report to, because there was some confusion, as I've stated before. Do they answer to Chris? Do they answer to Gary? Do they answer to the judge? And they didn't really know
That was the
who's
confusion.
their boss. And so this kind of helps clarify that and puts that in writing. And then kind of gives a little bit of some direction. It kind of helps. If I was a department head, I want to know what lane I'm supposed to stay in. And that kind of helps me stay on course. And not that we're empowering them, but they could say, is that in my job description? They have that freedom to ask that question. And we'll say, I don't know, let's see if it is.
I always point back to as,
As-
Other duties
as
as
duties
assigned.
as assigned.
That's Siobhan's favorite one.
Well, thank y'all. Thank y'all for your help and appreciate y'all letting me do it. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for doing
Well, thank you.
Can I ask one question? What about Roxanne? Where's Roxanne?
You create a new one for her.
I really do think we need one for her because she,
Well, I can write one, but she answers, we can either have her answer to Eddie or to,
I
Ben.
think she needs to answer to Ben, if that's
Yeah.
who is going to be.
That's okay. I don't have a problem with that. The only
Yeah.
thing is that maybe I'm not here every hour of the day, but Eddie is. If she has a question, she could go to him.
Yeah, or
and
she
ask
can
a
come to
question.
me.
Of course, but
Yeah, she,
if you're gonna have a job description, put whoever it is.
Under the court too.
but she doesn't work for the whole court.
Why not?
She works
Well, she
just
does work for the
for,
whole court.
she just works for the courthouse.
Oh.
so it's
So,
like Hovey works for me at the library and for Gary at the annex.
Yeah.
Whoever we get to mow the yard at the library works for me. I mean,
They
that,
answer to that person. But
Yeah.
They do work for the.
Yeah,
court,
they're-
Yes.
well, they work, so
I
if
think we
you're in
need
charge of
one
the
for her.
facility, okay, I can write her
Yeah.
one.
I just think it'd be easier for her.
I do
Yeah.
too.
If she knew.
But her supervisor would be Ben if we go by the current setup.
Okay.
So Ben would be her supervisor.
I mean, we can always change it if we wanted to, too. Like that, right?
All right, cool.
Okay, thank you.
Let me write
Right.
that down. So you put that
And so
down.
you'll just let me know when,
Okay,
when we've got those that we're ready to bring them back. to the court.
yes, I'll visit with everybody.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So no further action on that.
No.
All right, item 16, discussion and take any necessary action related to COVID-19 and the American Rescue Plan. Jerry?
Hudson County cases currently confirmed 5,285, probably 1,221, total of 6,506. The last 30 days, it's up about 1,900 cases. Fatalities are currently setting at 128 in the county. So this is about a 30-day differential as far as statewide confirmed cases. So you'll see hospitalizations, a month ago, 9,872. Now we're at about 7,615. You can see down below, you'll look at adult COVID-19 patients. You'll look at pediatric as well. So the numbers are coming down, starting to trend down. This is regional, so our regional trauma service area. You'll see last meeting, hospitalization of about 223. And currently we're at about 141 regionally.
Okay.
So the COVID-19 admissions in the last 24 hours, about 21 last meeting and about 16 as of actually yesterday, 16 admissions. So BSA Northwest Texas, you can look at ventilator and ICU utilization. You'll see that those are up, ICU utilization and total bed, adult bed utilization. But some of those two categories there aren't necessarily specific to COVID as far as ICU and total bed. The big number would be the active cases requiring hospitalization. That number is actually trending down pretty well as far as 1.18%. It kind of shows you that even though numbers were going up quite a bit, the utilization or the hospitalization was actually trending down as far as the variant is concerned. Better news. So this is our hospitalization rate. Last meeting 20.96, this meeting 17.23%. So out of all the patients hospitalized, 17.23% of them are COVID. Got got these numbers this morning, 3 COVID patients being treated at Golden Plains and 1 of those on that, 5 employees are out with COVID. I wanted to put this in here. This is to overall case trend. So now since we're quite a ways out from the onset of COVID, you can actually look at the cases from the beginning to now. So you can see the different spikes we had through the time frame. You'll see this last one, of course, it's way above everything else as far as cases. The amount of cases we're getting 50, 60% positivity rates on testing. But where you can look at this and put it next to another trend, this is the fatality trend. So you can look at that and compare it to the different case counts, and then look at the fatality trend on this spike compared to the others. So you can contribute that being a lower fatality trend to overall cases, and you can add a couple of things to that. You can look at just general immunity over being infected before. You can look at vaccinations. You can look at a bunch of different reasons, but I think the overall observation of it is the managing of it is even though that one fatality is too many, the trend of it is actually coming down on fatalities versus case count. So it's actually a good thing. That's all I have.
Good. Anyone got any questions on COVID stuff? Okay, the next item is to consider and or approve any ARP grant projects. So we did have our ARP committee meeting last Thursday, I believe it was. I was at conference, but I was able to attend remotely, so I was able to attend the meeting. So we have a few projects that were approved by the ARP committee, and I'm sorry I didn't get those to y'all prior to the meeting, but we'll review those for Commissioners Court approval. Okay, so the first project is submitted by the jail by Captain Sepulveda, and her request was for supplies, disinfecting supplies, and Lysol, bleach, gloves, etc., which it in itself is very expensive, just the gloves alone. And she requested $48,840. So after the committee reviewed that information, we decided the best thing that we could think of to do would be to put $50,000 from our ARP money into a line item that anyone could access via request. So if the jail had a request for gloves, it could be taken out of that line item. If another department had a request for Lysol wipes, it could be taken out of that line item. That's kind of the way we set up the CARES money originally, when we originally got that money at the onset of this. Am I explaining that correctly, Chris? Okay. So that's the first project request. Do y'all want to approve these individually? Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions on that project request?
That was out of ARP.
That was out of the ARP funds, of
How
which
much
we
money
have
was that?
$242,843 left in that.
How much for that line? item?
50,000 is what we're going to
50,000.
put in there initially. We may have to put more money in there because everything's going up, but initially that's what we're going to set aside out of our ARP money for that line item for supplies, disinfectant supplies,
And who will
cleaning.
authorize it is after the ARP or after we're done, authorizes this.
I think,
cleaning
Lisa,
supply.
were you going to do the request form?
I can do a request form and then it'll go to Jerry. He's gonna be kind of over the budget line item. So he'll monitor how much is in there, and then once he approves it, then they can order it.
Because if they say, oh, you know what, I need a fogger too.
Is there a list of what you can buy out of there, or is just?
If it's directly, especially on this side, we're gonna do directly related to COVID expense. So your gloves, cleaning supplies, anything like, if there was a fogger or something like that, those are how we had set up the original CARES money. There was a specification on directly related COVID expenses. So that's what we would set up on this, on just specific to this line.
So anything that would be used for sanitation.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or, yeah, and or PPE too, so that would include gloves or, one of the big issues with
Yes.
gloves right now is I was able to get a lot of gloves from the state, like thousands of
Free.
dollars.
Yeah.
And the state has currently reduced their supply at the rec, and then they're only giving out to medical facilities.
Okay.
So I can't get any more gloves from them. So one of the big issues when talking with Monica was we're gonna have to order gloves, and the expensive gloves right now was usually about $8 a box, now they're around about $25 to $30. So having that money in the budget it wasn't there just because of the prices, everything's just going up, and we're having to do so much more related to COVID and trying to keep it sanitizer clean. So.
Well, I just wanted to be on the safe side because we could authorize 50,000 and then a department later on could say, you know what, I need all that ultra white lighting or the not ultra white, that makes no sense. Ultraviolet lighting or the diffuser for all my air vents, and that 50,000 will be gone in like 7 minutes.
This is more supplies type stuff.
Who okays this?
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
asking.
Jerry,
Yeah.
Jerry.
Right.
Come to you.
Like the CARES money.
It's just like, yeah, we did it with the CARES already.
It would be, like I said, if they come and say, I need 2 cases of Lysol wipes, and that was what the issue was, is we had a line item before, but then they'd have to come to me and say, this is what I want. I make sure, first of all, I complied with the CARES funding application that you could use that money for that, which in most cases you can, but then making sure we kept track of what we actually had in there to make sure we didn't go over that line item.
So whoever comes to you and asks for this stuff, you'll keep track of that.
Right, yeah.
So if we have to put another 50,000 in later or something, we'll know who used it and how much. Okay.
So the reason we also kind of set it lower is one of the concerns we brought up during the committee meeting, we don't want departments to just buy $10,000 worth of gloves right now and try to get all of them because the prices are so high on things right now. We want them to buy them as they go. And hopefully the prices will come down and, you don't have to stock up. We already have quite a bit of stock of things. With masks, we still have a lot of masks in there too. So
More masks, I know what to do with, I just want
if departments need things, definitely get with Jerry before they purchase. I mean, that's what we're going to require anyway, but they might get them for free on that stuff too.
I have a question though. What if I need Lysol wipes and I need them today for elections? So can I not just go to Walmart and buy some and then put in a request that you?
They'll have to, like the request on how, because she was gonna do a request form. That way we can make sure we keep track of all that, so.
And also to get around people going and doing that and then just showing him the invoice and expecting that there's money, but not knowing that the sheriff department, once we get down to the bottom, there may not be any more money and you've gone and bought this, so thinking that you could spend it. So really you need to request it first, make sure that there's money available and then go purchase it.
Okay.
And it could be maybe that you go buy it out of your own budget
Right.
and then request a reimbursement if it's available.
Because
you may
we
have
think
to.
we have everything stocked, but then lo and behold, they've used a big thing of wipes in 2 days.
Right.
So, and this is, are you using a personal card?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what you're, so.
And I know, I mean, like for Walmart, I have a card, so I don't pay sales tax. I do have that. So, yeah.
And so it could be something that you seek reimbursement if funds are available.
Okay.
If you have to go buy it before you get the initial
Right.
approval.
Right. And we do try to equip the elections with everything they need, but then lo and behold, something
There's always gonna
happens.
be something,
They spill everything.
but in order
Dumped
to
it.
keep it to where he doesn't get an invoice and he's like, we don't have any more money. And you will have to know that
It
if you're
could come out of our
seeking
budget.
reimbursement, it could come out of your,
Sure. Okay.
out of your budget.
I get them for the tag offs all the time, out of our budget, so. But you can get reimbursed.
Okay. Maybe.
If there's money.
I hope it didn't go that
Any
fast.
other questions
I
about that?
move
grant?
to award the ARP money funds for $50,000 in the use of sanitation devices or supplies pending approval from Jerry Plainwell.
I'll second
I
it.
think I second.
Okay.
Beat you.
We have a motion and second. Any further discussion on that grant project? All in favor? Okay. All right, the next project is also from the jail. And Captain Sepulveda has requested $5,830 for some duct work. I gave you those. Okay, so that information. So it says install new ductless mini split in the area. Work would include heating unit, copper line being set, communication wire, and condenser removal. This would allow proper airflow into the housing area. At this time, we are unable to use this tank due to temperatures being too low, below jail standards. So this would allow them to take care of that, to resolve the issues with that duct work. And I think Dwayne, who said is on the committee, mentioned that the humidity in there is just
Horrible.
horrible.
I move to award the $5,830 from the ARP fund in regards to the airflow of D-tank 3-man cell.
Motion and second. Any further discussion on that project? All in favor? Okay, and one more from the jail. It's for their contract cleaning service or commercial disinfecting service. They've already come out once, I believe. Is that right, Monica? Twice already. So they want to continue that service where they come in and deep clean the jail, commercial cleaning. And that request is $5,265. So how many times will that $5,265 get you?
4 more.
4 more times? Okay,
We have a contract for.
okay.
The motion, we approve this project.
No, I'll second it.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
To approve this project, so you don't have to worry about the wording.
Yeah. All right, the next project is a submission from the library from Nancy Criswell. It's for the purchase of a new computer to run the microfilm reader. Chris, can you elaborate?
But yeah, I can grab it, but she's on here too, though.
Yeah, she is.
So one of the, I can't remember if we said this in the last commissioners meeting, but the final rule that ARP, that we've got about the ARP is that you can claim up to $10 million in lost revenue. And so I think the committee, I want to speak, well, I think we already decided you can.
Yes, we did. I think we talked about it last meeting.
We're going to leave the remaining 250,000 in ARP, but we're going to earmark all of the rest of that for lost revenue, which means that opens it up for so much more like the wheelchair. ramp,
Flexibility to
like
spend.
governmental functions. And so this is something that has broken. It's not budgeted for this year, but, and so we have a lot of genealogy or historical residents that come in and use this microfilm for newspaper and artifacts type of things. And so I told her that is a governmental function. So we talked about submitting that to the committee.
Yeah, and she did
On it.
elaborate that the current reader's a Windows 7, so that's no longer supported. So they can't get any support or repair for that at present. And that money, it would come out of lost revenue. Approved.
Nancy, do you have anything you'd like to add?
So that Windows 7 operating system that is currently on that computer, since it is no longer supported, it is a security risk. So that's why now, all the computers have Windows 10 and then, currently kind of rolling up to 11. So it's just a security risk having it. And like Chris said, we do have quite a few requests that come in and want to use this.
I move to approve the $1,173.03 for the ARP project fund for the purchase of a new computer for the Microsoft Reader. Microfiche readers.
Okay, we're motion and second for the library project. Any discussion? All in favor?
Put a small fee from the library. we like send it to
And
them.
that was lost revenue.
Lost revenue.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, the next project is, and we have discussed this one, it's the doors out at the airport.
Oh, I thought we was on the other side.
Yeah, so we did get that final bid in from Serco, I believe, and that amount is 74,773 to completely repair those doors, those big airport doors.
So this was the original one. Remember when he talked about, he thought he could get it done for half? So
It was 31.5.
First one.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah,
look at the first one.
It went up $3,000 just by
Yeah.
talking about it.
So he thought originally we could do it for half and we said we need to do it correctly. So he got the first bid.
So we're at this
Doubled it,
amount.
but it's 74. Yeah.
That money we have earmarked out of lost revenue, if approved.
I think we've discussed it quite extensively.
Yeah, we need,
I move to award $4,773 and from the ARP lost revenue in regards to the airport doors.
No, second it.
okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. And the final project is from me, and it's just to get some conference tables in this area, get rid of the big table, put some conference tables. Everyone gets to look forward. We have a new camera that was approved last time, so everyone will be facing the camera. The tables flip and store. So when we get ready for county court and docket, if we need to rearrange to make it more user-friendly for docket, we can do that.
I love it.
And they piece together.
And they do
Like
piece
double.
together, yeah. They could,
go
we
back
can,
to this.
we can just put them in any shape we want. So the original project, I asked for 3, but
Do
then.
they fit the new chair, these chairs?
Oh,
Or yeah.
yes, they will. But we again thought about the layout and I asked for 1 additional table. And so the committee did approve 4 tables, which is about 1,000. What did I tell you? Oh, I didn't write that down. I figured it, but it's 1,000 something.
That amount plus the 277.
Yeah, 831 plus 277. So, but it was approved by the committee.
Make a motion, we approve this project with the additional table.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? I'm going to try to get those here as quickly as possible.
Yay.
And those were the only ones that were approved to come to Commissioners Court for final approval. We had some other projects that were discussed. Most of those were tabled for further information. So hopefully we can bring those back to the Commissioners Court for some approval. Next time we have our next meeting, March the 7th.
Judge, was that lost revenue? on the tables or-
On the tables, ARP
Okay.
is what
Thank
I
you.
have. Okay. All right, the next item is item 18, to consider and or approve burn ban or rescind the burn ban.
So, last week when we had the, little bit of snow, I talked to the judge, we had several people calling in, wanting to burn some trash, stuff like that. It's been, over a 90-day period. We had some snow on the ground, so the judge did approve a temporary, rescinding of the burn ban. But to reinstate the burn ban, it has to go in front of the Commissioners Court. So, being that our ground index is still at 557, the snow didn't last long at all. Sucked up that snow like it wasn't there. We want to recommend reinstating the burn ban. Any of the current ones that have reinstated or have placed burn ban. I'd like to reinstate the burn ban additional.
90 days.
Make a motion, we reinstate the burn ban.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, I'm going to send this around so everyone will need to sign it. All right, item 19, consider and or approve disposal of obsolete office equipment. I don't think I had any requests this time. Number 20, accept certificates of completion from elected or appointed.
I have Robin Stroud. She's submitted her certificate from the County District Clerks Association for her 20 hours for 2021. And then also Craig Jones, County Attorney, submitted attendance record for an elected prosecutor conference. And those are the only two I have.
Okay, thank you. Item 21, consider and or approve requests for use of club rooms at the Border Library or Fritz.
I don't have any, I don't think.
I just have the early voting, which is already taking effect today. And that's it.
Item 22, consider and or approve line item changes, transfers and or budget amendments.
I actually have two. One is for insurance proceeds that we received for damage to the road and bridge truck. They hit a turkey. They received an appraisal from the insurance company for $2,059.26. So I'm gonna move that into their repairs budget line item to cover those repairs. And then the second one is also for some insurance proceeds. We received additional insurance proceeds of $1,250 for the sheriff's vehicle that was damaged in an accident. It was to cover the towing for the vehicle. It wasn't in the original the proposal from the insurance. It wasn't in that, so they sent us additional funds.
Okay.
And that'll cover the cost of the towing. So it's basically a wash.
Got a motion for that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to that.
Motion and second to approve those changes. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Item 23, consider and or approve advertising, opening, accepting or awarding bids. We don't have any, do we?
No.
Thank you. Item 24, consider and or approve donations to Hutchinson County. Does anybody have any besides me? We did receive $250 donation. I believe it was $250. Yeah. From Pantera Energy Company. They sent a little note. It says, thank you for your selfless aid in fighting the fire on the 4 Sixes Ranch in December of 21. That helps save property, equipment, livestock, and lives. It does not go unnoticed. Enclosed is a donation check from Pantera Energy. So that was nice. I'll send them a thank you.
Can I have a copy of that for the minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I will make you a copy. And let's see, item 25, accept reports from elected or appointed officials.
Are we going to approve that donation?
Oh, yes. Can I have a motion to approve the
I'll make
donation?
a
I'm sorry.
motion that we approve the donation from Pantera.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, thanks, Jeff. And now reports from elected or appointed officials.
I have one from the county clerk, district clerk, JP1, JP2, library, and airport. I don't know if Dwayne, did you send one this morning? Okay, and then I'll have Dwayne.
Okay.
That's all.
Item 26, discussion of county judges and commissioners precinct daily operations.
Well, I just want to say that we've had a lot of traffic at the airport. They've used 750 gallons of fuel, Jet A. We had.
What's the cause of all the traffic? Do we know?
Well, yeah, some of it is Super Bowl traffic.
Oh,
They're
coming
headed to the
through.
Super Bowl, yeah. We have good prices on Jet A fuel,
Mhm.
so they land here, the pilots know that. So we're getting a lot of traffic,
Well,
which
good.
is good. 3 citations came in on one day, and they use a lot of fuel. So, and then Dennis told me that Thursday and Friday, they had 5 jets come through.
They probably
4
had to
headed
get our
the Super
cheap
Bowl.
fuel because the Super Bowl tickets were super expensive.
Oh, no, and they saved money somewhere.
Priorities.
Yeah. But anyway, there's a lot going on there, which is good.
Good, thank you. Anything else around the county?
So the library, we've got, they're in there and they do the LED retrofitting. We've got all the storerooms and the offices done, and now the rest of the fixtures are on back order waiting for the rest of those, and they'll be in there.
Good. All right, item 27, consider and or approve the sale of struck off tax properties or tax deeds. We do have a few. The first one is at 1312 Jolly Street. A bid of $20,000 by Raul Zaragoza. I don't, probably butchered that name, from Border.
That's gonna look good.
Yes, that's,
I went and took pictures. Sent them.
that's, you took that picture?
Yeah. So
Awesome.
I got with Jerry and he said if I would send him pictures, we could put it on here. And so we're gonna do that going forward.
Perfect.
So that's the house. There's a little garage back there, but make the motion, we approve that offer.
The bid or the appraisal value is 45,670. So they've offered about a little less than half,
What did they bid on it?
20.
20,000?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you made a motion to approve or accept?
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, the next property is 608 Alabama. The appraisal value on that is 600. We have a bid of 629 by Casimir Investments of San Antonio.
And that's just the empty lot. So I make a motion.
What's that sign? Are they selling?
It's-
So in,
It's the tax deed people put that sign up there.
Oh,
so
I
in
didn't know
Border in
that.
the city limits, that makes it easy for me to find too.
Yeah, well, they do it. Yeah, like when I checked on some before Dwight, we got Dwight in place and I was out at Fritz checking on some and yeah, way easier to find with those signs.
Put more of those out when I got
Yeah,
look around.
because that's hard to find property out there in some of those areas.
Those are the online auction thing where you can go and bid on them.
Oh,
They have the
okay.
website.
The Texas Communities
It
Group.
does help. for sure.
Yeah, I hope to see more of those in mine,
Mhm.
because it's hiding in the seat all the time.
But I make a motion, we accept that offer as well.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. The next property is located at 1205 Baker Street. The appraisal value is 2,100. There was a bid by Casimir Investments of San Antonio for $1,011.
That is an empty lot as well, and a good offer. So I make a motion, we accept that.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? The next property is 704 Ferguson Street. The appraisal value is $3,680. There's a bid of $1,100 by David Williams of Meeker, Oklahoma.
We took 2 pictures of that because there is a drainage,
There.
there's a drainage area right there.
Mhm.
Is that part of the property? The drainage?
I couldn't tell,
Hmm.
but it's, I mean, it's a concrete.
Yeah, he's already got some concrete he's got to remove or.
But I would say no, because the fence right here, you can see that fence post, it goes down
Right.
that retaining wall, that concrete retaining wall continues down the side there.
Mhm.
Those, I took those this weekend, so those 2 structures are still there, but I make a motion that we accept that.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion?
They're temporary structure. That one's a mobile home too.
All
Oh,
in
those
favor?
are the mobile homes that are on that property. It goes on back.
Yes.
Yeah, I see.
All right, we have a motion and second. All in favor? Okay. Thank you. All right, the next property is 1012 South McGee. The appraisal value on this is 29,660.
I like that. I'm gonna do it.
Bid was 13,250 by Connie and Gordon Wood. Was that yours, Ben?
Yeah, this house nobody lives in. I didn't put a fancy picture of it like you did.
Well, yeah, y'all can see that.
But there you go.
Oh, yeah.
But it's kind of bad repair.
The house is still there.
The house is still there. I'd make a motion to accept the 13,250 for that property.
Second.
It's 1012 South McGee. Can you find it? Yeah, is that it?
No, it's
It's blue, it looks like. It's
the way on the,
They live at the corner.
go up.
Their house is at the corner way up there at the next
Where's
intersection. That's their house. That's
Keep
probably that
on
one
going.
across the street.
It's funny.
It'll be on
because
the right-hand side. Are you going south?
Oh, there it is. That blue house right there.
Yeah, the blue house, yeah. So
Yeah.
no, that's the
Yeah.
west side.
You can tell the Google when they go through at different seasons.
Uh-huh.
Match.
Yeah, it's like super green. Yeah.
That looks like it's quite a while ago in that
Yeah.
picture. It doesn't look like that good today.
2013.
Okay, Ben, you made a
I
motion?
made a motion.
Okay, to approve.
Second.
And Chris second.
Chris seconded.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion?
I did.
All in favor? We had a lot. And that is it.
All right.
Anybody have anything else? Meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second as well.
Motion second to adjourn. All in
Everybody
favor?
for it?